My name is Amelia Simmons. I'm 33, and I'm a voice of determination. So basically, I picked voice of determination because I always felt like I was the underdog. So I felt like I heard so many no's in my life, whether high school, college, even professional. So I knew I had to push through the obstacles. So I picked determination because my story to play basketball has always been like too skinny, too small, not fast enough. So I always had that in the back of my mind where I have to prove everybody wrong. So that's how I play at the game. Like I have to prove coaches, GMs, players that I can play, no matter where I come from, no matter how late I started. So that's why I picked determination, because it just took, if you're coming from the club, small, skinny, not knowing how to jump, dribble, play basketball, to playing overseas, like that just takes determination. Not many people can go overseas and play at top divisions.
When you say club, what do you mean?
So the Boys and Girls Club, when I played for the Boys and Girls Club, like I didn't know how to play basketball. I just seen so many people around me playing, and I just felt like this is something I think I can be good at, even though I was terrible, but it was just something that was hard. And I just knew that if I push, then I could possibly be good or be as good as the people around me. So they kind of like pushed me.
Question, when did you start playing basketball?
So I started playing basketball at the Boys and Girls Club. I was always scared to play for my high school team, so the club had a league. So I was comfortable with the players and the people at the club, so I just started, and I was 15 when I first started.
15 years old?
Yeah, 15.
But you play high school ball?
I played high school ball, but I didn't play till my sophomore year. So after the club, that gave me confidence to say, well, maybe I can play. So that's what made me go out for the high school team.
Let's talk about the progression, how you went from the club to high school to college to overseas.
Okay, so for the Boys and Girls Club, like I was just fast. I knew I was just fast. So I just got confidence to like, let me try out for the basketball team. So when I first tried out, I was like, I'm not gonna make the team. I know I'm not gonna make the team. These girls, we play AAU. I don't play AAU, I just play pickup. So I just tried out. The coach talked to me. She was like, I think you can make the team. I'm like, I'll play for the team, but I don't want to play for varsity. She's like, but I think you can play varsity. I'm like, I will only play if I'm on JV. Because JV, I was comfortable. Like, I knew I could play at that level, but I didn't think I was capable of playing at the varsity level. But she just kept pushing me, and one day I played one JV game, and she was like, you're not playing JV anymore. And I'm like, okay, I'll play varsity, but I'm not getting in the game. I don't want to get in the game. And like one game, one of the best players fouled out, and I had no choice but to go into the game. And I was like, wow, this is fun. Like the crowd, my teammates, my coach, I'm like, this is something I want to do. So after that game, I just worked every chance I could get. I was working outside, working with Ron. Like, I just was like, I just want to get better. I want to be better than the players on my team. And that just kept pushing me. As the season went on, I got better. I started getting recognized by like, top people in the state. And I was like, maybe I could do this in college. I think I can play college ball. So I just worked hard. Every day I was working out, watching videos of past players. And I was just like, I'm just going to try to pursue basketball, even though I got more offers for track. I was like, I just want to do basketball. I think that it's a challenge. I have fun. I'm not the best player, so it's going to push me to be better. And I got offers from college, and I decided to sign with a college team. And then I chose Wilmington because it was local. My family could watch me play, and I just thought they weren't really good at the time. So I was like, if I join this team, maybe I can make it better. Maybe I could make the team better, make the community come out and watch this school. So I decided to go to Wilmington, and it was like the best decision of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from Wilmington, what happened next?
So I went to Wilmington. My first year, I didn't really do as well as I thought. I kept getting better. Players kept coming in, pushing me to be better. And then after college, I wanted to play overseas, but I knew it would be tough because I come from a D2 school. So I basically put a resume together. Since I'm the all-time leading scorer of my school, I was like, that's probably would give me some looks. I'm leading rebounder, All-American. I'm like, this is going to be a good transition to overseas. Unfortunately, it wasn't, because a lot of agents, clubs were like, you play D2, they consider it like low. So they were like, we don't want to take that chance for you because you're Division II. We want Division I players or WNBA players. I had to play in a semi-pro team. And now this semi-pro team was made up of players that played in top Israel leagues, top Norway leagues, top Poland league. So I kind of was the first Division II player to make the team. So I seen how good they were, how fast they were, how quick they were. So I was like, maybe I'm not ready to play overseas because these girls are like 10 times better than me. I'm like, I need to be where they are. So the coach liked me. He turned me into a defensive player. So I'm known to score, but this coach put me as a defensive player. So I'm like, I don't know, I don't like this. I want to score. He was like, no, you have the tools to be a great defender. So it's I kind of pushed what he was telling me with what I already knew, and that kind of made me better. So that year off that I didn't play overseas, I played semi-pro. And then we went to Atlanta and played with other top teams. Then I was like, I can play. I really can play. So I sent those tapes out to a lot of agencies and teams, and they were like hitting me back immediately, like, what position, how tall you are you fit, can you come right now? So then I started to see when you focus on other areas where you're not as strong at and you're determined to push through, then that's when doors open up. So you might think you're a great player, but there's so many other areas that you need to work on. So you have to push yourself even beyond tired, even beyond people telling you you're not good, to get to the other side that you didn't know you had in you. So that's basically what I did. You know, there's a million agents out there, you know, and so many agents will sign you. But the hardest part is finding the agent that really believes in you. Because you can sign with an agent and you can be number 50 on their list. So they got 49 players that they're pushing out there, pushing their tape, pushing their resume out, and you just might be number 50. So finding an agent was the toughest part. Like I had 2 agents that I was signed with them, but they couldn't find me any jobs. I'm emailing them every day asking, you know, do you have any offers for me? We're working on it. So I went 6 to 7 months sitting at home working out, thinking I was gonna play overseas, and I was home. So finally I found this one agent, her name, I'm not gonna say her name, but I found this one agent. She's stationed in Germany. She was telling me, you know, you can fly out to Germany, play in my exposure camp, and then you can get looks. Since you're already in Europe, a lot of clubs will be willing to sign you because you're here, you're in Europe. So I played in the exposure camp. I played really well. I got an offer in Germany. It was kind of mid-season. They were kind of looking for a player to stay in the league, basically. They were in the process of either staying or getting dropped. So they signed me. It was definitely a culture shock because, for one, Germany, they play a strict style of basketball. They're not with the flashy fundamentals, and they want you to just do A, B, C, no D, E, F. So playing for Germany, it was just tough because, you know, when you're coming from the States where you score, you do a little bit of everything, and you come there and they want you to do 1 or 2 things, you kind of gotta just suck it up and just do what they say. Like, they paying you to do something, you just gotta do it. So it was a struggle for me my first year, but I learned a lot about myself. So as my agent, you know, she was good for my first year, but I felt like for me to get where I wanted to be in my career, that it was best for me to part ways with her. It was one of those things where you know what you're capable of doing. You know that, you know, if you send your profile out every day, you know you're doing that. When you're relying on someone to do it for you, you kind of got to believe what they're saying they're doing. If you do it yourself, like, you know, network yourself, send your profiles out yourself, talk to clubs yourself, you know that you're reaching out to these teams. These teams are contacting you back. You're building a relationship with the team, and you know you're doing it. Not to say she wasn't doing it, but I just felt that I just wasn't the player on her top list. I felt below. So I felt like the only time she was putting my stuff out there is when I was hitting her up, asking her. She wasn't doing it on her own. So that's the only thing. Like, I know that if I do it myself, I'm doing it. I don't have to ask anybody because I'm doing it.
So you just like 86 agent and you became your own agent?
Yeah, I became my own agent. After I learned the business, after I knew what teams wanted, then I just sent my profile out and I just talked to the teams directly. If I didn't talk to the actual coach, I talked to the president. If I didn't talk to the president, I talked to someone that was involved in the team. Just letting them know, you know, I'm a 5'11" player. I'm gonna give you everything I got. I like working with younger kids, because, you know, when you play overseas, you're gonna have 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, sometimes 15-year-olds. I'm used to working with younger kids. I'm used to pushing other kids. So I just let them know, like, you know what you're gonna get. And a lot of clubs hit me back and were just like, you know, we would love to have you a part of our team. Either they say they want me part of their team or they didn't have the money. But I found a lot of clubs that were interested in working with me, just based off of me coming out, put myself out there. So I just did it that way.
That ain't determination.
I mean, you have to. When you're coming from Delaware and you're coming from a small school, you got to be determined, because there's so many schools. There's so many top UCLA, Tennessee. They're going to take those players and WNBA players over me. So you have to be determined. You have to know what you want. If you don't know what you want, they're going to pick someone else. They might pick someone else that averaged 2 points, only played 10 minutes, over someone that played 30 that played in Division II. So you got to be determined. You got to know what you want. And they see that and they love it. So that's what I did. Like, not only for myself, but for people after me. Maybe someone after me that thinks they're not good enough, or maybe someone after me doesn't think that they have the will to do what other people say they can't do. So I just felt like if I do it, then maybe my niece, maybe a kid that I never met, they'll see and say, she did it, why can't I do it? And then I started playing ball. I went to Malta, Greece, Germany, Montenegro, and I'm still playing basketball. I knew I wanted to play basketball, but I didn't know how bad I wanted to play until I heard those a million no's from clubs, agents. That's what made me say, you know what, I want to play. That's why I'm a voice of determination. It's tough, but I mean, if you really want it, go get it. It's a million no's. All it takes is one yes.